Hello, listeners. It's Madison Dinkelman.
And Gale.
And you're listening to the Biz Files podcast. All right, guys, it's happening. We are actually recording our first podcast in our studio here in Canton, Georgia, the Biz File podcast. I know we've been talking about this forever, guys, months and months and months. Obviously, we're busy. We have a lot going on. Dee is running Stand Up for Seniors. I'm doing all kinds of stuff all the time with my different businesses. But today, we're actually getting to record our first podcast. So excited. Gale is my official co-host of this podcast. I'm so excited.
So excited, Yay. Madison.
Yay. She's not just my co-host, guys. She has been one of my very best friends for a long time now, 3 or 4 years, 5. I lost count by now. We met. Actually, we'll have to tell that story on this podcast, how we met, how that came about. But today we are recording our first episode, and we are going to go into some details about Stand Up for Seniors. I know I'm kind of biased. It is my favorite nonprofit here in North Georgia. However, let's talk about for a few minutes, Dee, what the Biz File podcast is, what our intentions are, what we're trying to do here. I'm a firm believer. If anyone knows me, they know I hate meetings.
Yeah, me too.
Meetings, people have meetings a lot of times just to have meetings. I'm all about
I want meetings with a purpose.
Exactly.
And to come out with something happening.
Right. If
accomplished.
Yeah, exactly. If there's no effect with things, if meetings don't have effects, if you're part of something and you don't have an effect, if you're just a body in the room, it has no purpose, in my opinion. And so this podcast, I'm going to give my 2 cents how I feel about it, and then I'll let Dee tell how she feels. It is wild. If you pull the data, there's so many businesses in North Georgia. It's nuts.
It's crazy.
It is. I think above Atlanta, which that's what we're calling North Georgia, guys. I mean, kind of when you get to Kennesaw, Marietta, the whole North Georgia area up to the Tennessee line. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of businesses, guys. And I feel like sometimes there's not a platform for people to come on and talk about their business, what they do.
Yeah.
Some people even struggle with social media. It's so funny. A girl called me yesterday. She raises all these pretty flowers up in Talking Rock because I do this stuff with the wedding venue. And she's like, I just hate social media.
That.
And she's like, but I feel like she would be like a great, business. But there's so many businesses, guys. And we want to have a platform where you come into our studio, we talk to you about your business, we get to know you. And most importantly, I want people to learn about how to grow their business and what that looks like. And a lot of people learn those things from learning about people's struggles. So that's important to me. But Dee, tell us a little bit about what the Biz File podcast is to you and how you feel about it, because I want to hear your 2 cents.
Well, first of all, I'm super excited.
I know. I can't believe it's happening.
I mean,
it's happening.
We've been working on this for a while.
I know.
And so I know we're just both emotionally excited about this today.
I know.
For me, I'm a podcast addict. I listen to a lot of them.
Me too.
Primarily when I'm getting ready for work.
Yes.
The thing I love, though, Madison, about podcasts is what you can learn from them.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping with our Biz Files that we can educate people on the different businesses in our community.
Yes.
Resources that would then lean towards them to go to.
Sure.
So I'm excited about that. And I'm hoping we can grow other people's businesses as our podcast grows.
Yeah. And it's not just businesses, guys. It's nonprofits. Nonprofits in this community, sometimes they get thrown to the wayside. They, obviously businesses, for-profit businesses are always at the forefront of a lot of people's, ambitions and all of those types of things, which is completely fine. Obviously, we all got to make money, but nonprofits do so many amazing things in this community. And so we want to have all the different nonprofits in this community on this podcast so that we can also make North Georgia aware of what they do as well. So.
Oh, absolutely. Because what's shocking to me, Matt, is that I call Madison Mad, by the way.
That's my nickname.
Just in case you catch that.
Yeah.
But people don't know what a lot of these nonprofits do.
Sure.
I'm shocked that our nonprofit has been around for 26 years, and every day I can meet someone new that still doesn't know what we do.
Yeah.
So I know there's a lot of our nonprofits in our community that we would need to share and help educate everybody on what they do.
That's wild to me too. I literally meet someone every day who has never heard about Stand Up for Seniors, doesn't know what Stand Up for Seniors is. And so we want to also use this as a platform, guys, to it's awareness of what, these different businesses and nonprofits in North Georgia do. So let's dig in a little bit. First, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in Kentucky, and then moved to Nashville, Tennessee for a while, lived there. I'm an accountant by trade. I know that's funny because everybody sees me on social media and I'm doing God knows what all the time. But recently I have really I've started an event planning company called The Party Spot. Along with, I have a new obsession, sports photography and videography and business management around those types of things. And so that's really where my heart and passion lies right now. I have a little girl that's 9 years old, about to be 10 years old, who's into everything coming and going. My husband works for a construction company down in Atlanta. And we got 2 little miniature long-haired Dachshunds. And so life is just always crazy. I have nieces and nephews. My nieces play basketball here and soccer, and Harper, my niece, she's going to start flag football. I'm so excited about that.
Isn't that what kind of got you on the Sports Mom Co?
Yeah. So the Sports Mom Co, me and my sister-in-law, we're obviously moms and obsessed with sports, and we love, anything that has to do with sports. And so we do a lot of, custom design for like t-shirts and swag, what you call swag these days. And so, I'm excited for those 2 businesses to grow. And I love being part of the community. And so sports photography and videography, and obviously I'm obsessed with sports. I grew up in Kentucky. We're obsessed with basketball, not necessarily football. I know this is football country. But I really love anything that has to do with sports.
You got your Packers you root for.
That's true. I do love the NFL. I've been a Packers fan for a long, long, long time. We'll probably even talk about sports in one of our episodes and even more about all that.
Sure when football starts.
I know. I'm ready. We got almost 2 months and preseason stuff starts. So I'm excited about that. Before we get into Stand Up for Seniors, Dee, tell us a little bit about you, I want to know about everybody. We get to see certain sides of people, but tell us about your family and what you like to do.
Gale?
Yeah, who is Gale?
Well, born and raised in Illinois.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a northern girl.
That's right. I forget that. You like the snow.
I love the snow.
Yeah.
I would only like to visit the snow.
Right. Me too.
It's funny when it snows here, the southern people get so excited.
I know,
and I'm
right?
like,
or they freak out.
I'm like, I've seen it. Seen
right.
plenty of it.
It's the end of the world.
I'd rather go visit it than live in it.
For sure.
I've had enough years with that. But anyway, born and raised in Illinois, got married in Illinois. A husband and I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay.
With his job. And so then we lived there 6 years. Our youngest was born there in Charlotte. And then we moved here 23 years ago.
Wow.
To Woodstock, Georgia. His job brought us here.
Yes.
And now we feel like this is home.
Yeah. Well, if you've been here that long.
Family at home, but
sure.
It's different.
Right.
We feel like this has been home.
I know.
We've actually talked about, my husband and I, this home we've lived in longer than we did any childhood home. And so
that makes sense. I know. That is a long time.
But so our youngest is married. Our oldest is married.
Wow.
We're ready for grandbabies.
Grandbabies are the next. Everyone that meets Dee, they're shocked. I'm not going to tell you how old she is, but they're shocked. I mean, I'm 37. I'll tell you, but pushing 40 soon. But I mean, I feel like you're my age. So when she talks about kids that are like,
I'm 62. I'll tell you how old I am.
A few years younger than me. I'm like, wait, what? Because I don't know. I think I've always clicked with people that are older than me just because. So I was the kid at Thanksgiving or at any holiday, all the kids are off playing and I'm like in the middle of the adults, asking them like, so how's your business model working out, as a 6-year-old. And so it's always funny. We've always clicked. And I think we're very passionate about what we do. And And I think that's very important, with what you're doing with stand up and all that kind of stuff.
And that's one of my things is I feel like I'm here to serve.
Yeah.
One of my personality traits is I'm a fixer.
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to figure out how to fix the problem.
Right.
It doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah, I get it. I'm the same way.
In life you can't fix everything.
True.
But it's sure worth giving it a shot.
Right. So grandbabies are the next step for Gale.
Yeah. Then tell those kids to get on that.
I know. Oh, gosh. Zach. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That's the next step. So that's a little about myself and about Dee. And so now we're going to dig into the nonprofit Stand Up for Seniors. We're excited to hear about, your journey within Stand Up for Seniors, but then also what Stand Up for Seniors is, what it does, and, all of those types of things. We have a few questions here, guys. We are doing this somewhat impromptu, but we also want to be very informative and, talk about things that are important and effective so you guys do come away from this podcast knowing more about stand up and what they do. So let's start with question number 1.
Okay.
What inspired you to become involved with Stand Up for Seniors?
Well, I was volunteering with Stand Up for Seniors.
Okay.
And just a little background on that. It was volunteer, and it still is volunteer agent council,
Sure.
everyone. I mean, IRS knows this is volunteer agent council.
Right.
We did a DBA as Stand Up for Seniors, but I was volunteering because I was a stay-at-home mom raising our youngest.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, lo and behold, they become old enough to drive.
Yeah. Then you have empty nest syndrome.
I have empty nest syndrome.
Right.
And so, there was a position open at Cherokee County Senior Services.
Okay.
That partnered with the nonprofit.
Okay.
And so I got that job. And so I was considered a resource coordinator at that time. Then we recently spun off. I was there 10 years.
Right.
And we spun off.
I know.
And we got our own office here on East Main Street in Canton.
I know. I love it
Super
here.
excited about. And so now we're really trying to push and educate everybody on what Stand Up for Seniors is and does. Yes, there's people that know, but there's a lot of people that aren't aware of us. And so that's what I'm excited about for today, is for people to walk away with going, I didn't know about you.
Right.
And how can we help
Right.
you?
I know I'm about to go off script a little bit. Explain it to everybody. There is Cherokee Senior Services, which is a government office, part of the government here locally. Tell us that a lot of people for a long time, because your office was on Univetter with them, tell everybody or explain to everybody the difference between Stand Up for Seniors. Completely different entity, guys. Completely different thing than what Cherokee Senior Services does.
Right.
We don't need a whole year story, but tell us what Cherokee Senior Services does really fast.
Cherokee County Senior Services is a government entity for seniors.
Right.
They've got activities there. They've got case managers that manage a group of seniors that get Meals on Wheels. They might get homemaker services. So they've also got the Silver Roamers that operate out of there.
Right.
So they are run by the county where, our nonprofit started by Olene Darby, Earl Darby's wife.
Oh, yeah.
And she started it because she was an employee there at Senior Services.
That's right.
Saw the need, because our seniors call into Senior Services looking for additional help that the county couldn't provide.
Right.
And so the nonprofit was formed to help with those programs.
Gotcha. And that Darby's right down the street here.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I think we're jumping into, all these questions about Stand Up for Seniors, but give us the 4 or 5 sentence explanation of what exactly Stand Up for Seniors is. What do you do exactly? Because a lot of people people will talk to and come to me all the time about, do you guys do, therapy, or can we come in for this? Or give us the 4 to 5 sentence definition of, what I'm looking across our studio and see our brochure and the stuff that we hand out to people. If you were to tell people in 4 or 5 sentences what exactly Stand Up is, what are you guys?
Yeah. Well, Stand Up for Seniors, we help keep seniors safe and secure
Okay.
in their homes
Sure.
as long as possible.
Okay.
From that point, I mean, we may run into, it might be a financial assistance situation they need
Right.
help with. It might be a home repair.
Sure.
Again, anything to keep them safe and secure.
Right.
But then on the other hand, we also have seniors that are living in their cars because they're
Yeah.
homeless.
Homeless. Yeah.
So again, we want to keep them safe and secure as best as possible. That might be us assisting with putting them in a motel.
Right.
Especially now that it's getting super hot.
Sure.
Just so everybody knows, it's summer that we're recording
Yeah.
this, and it's like
It is so humid outside, guys.
it's like a humid wall.
Yeah. You walk outside and just instant sweat.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm sorry, what did I walk into?
Right. Yeah. It's like a heater.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
also these seniors that are in their cars, I
Right.
mean, they're having to run those cars all day.
Right.
So they got to have the money for gas.
Sure.
You know, to run the air.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's not always the best thing. They may
Yeah.
not even have air in
Right.
their cars. So, you know, again, if we can get them in a motel
Sure.
to give them out of the heat and
Yeah.
the elements, that's what we try to do.
I gotcha. So with that, guys, they have different programs.
Right.
Our nonprofit has different programs that can assist these seniors with things such as home repairs. You know, and people don't realize when people start getting older, we have been into so many homes, you know, and we are going to talk about and show this eventually to you guys. It's people are clueless about how bad it is sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, sometimes we go into houses and it's just absolute filth. I mean, it's just, the story goes on and on and on, but we'll get into that more on we are going to also dig into the homelessness, those issues here in North Georgia, because we've got to touch on that subject. That's a whole other podcast, and we'll probably have a few other guests on here that we can for sure dig into all of
Right.
that. So,
Well, so if I jump in here, I'm going to tell you what our programs are.
Yes.
So our financial assistance program is called Last Stop.
Okay.
The reason it got called Last Stop is because usually if they're coming to us, it is their last
Sure.
stop. They've reached out to other resources, either A, couldn't get the help or have gotten the help from them, but they need for future help.
Sure.
And so they come to us for that. Our financial assistance program is for utilities.
Okay.
Well, let me just tell you probably the ones we see mostly.
Okay.
Is utilities, rent, those are our top ones.
Right.
And then the motel stays.
Sure.
And then we've got our home repair program.
Okay.
What we see mostly with that is, leaky
Right.
things that rot floors. Got one that we're working on that right now. Real big safety issue.
Right.
Because the leak can get so bad
Right.
that the floor is so damaged
Yeah.
that they're just not safe to
Yeah.
even walk on their own
Right.
floor.
Or decks, front decks, back decks.
Wheelchair ramps.
Yeah.
Yesterday we just installed a stair lift
nice.
because the senior, with how his deck was, it's just the run for that deck was going to be so long
Sure.
that obviously him just getting into his house, if it's raining, he's going to be soaked.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And so, we kind of evaluated the situation, saw that he can pull into his garage. It was one of those bi-level homes. Pull in underneath, he gets out, goes over to the stairs inside, and he just can have the stair lift to go up.
I love that.
So then we
Yeah.
didn't have to worry about him in the rain,
Yes.
in the elements.
Absolutely.
So, so now we're looking at maybe he needs some other assistance,
Okay.
possibly a hospital bed. So we're going to maybe see if FODAC has one of those.
Okay.
But anything we can do. And so we do repairs in that general area. Senior Comforts is another program where, wheelchairs, rollators, Senior Services reaches out to us sometimes.
Okay.
Because they offer that free.
Nice.
If someone swings into Senior Services and to see if they've got a rollator,
Okay.
or a walk, or not, well, that is a walker, or a wheelchair,
Sure.
they'll give that to them.
Okay.
People can always bring them back. Obviously, we always
Right.
would say to them, we want them back clean.
Right.
if they're soiled and everything,
Sure.
that's not something we can give back out.
Right,
But
right.
so that's another program that we have.
Okay.
And then we recently launched our transportation program,
Yes. Oh, we got to
which
talk
I am
about
so
that. I
excited
know.
about. So yeah, we had Patrick with Wellway reach out to us, and
We're going to get Patrick on this podcast.
yeah, we
I can
are.
talk to him till the sun comes
And
up.
so
Great guy. Great
we're
business. Great
excited to
company.
take seniors to doctor's appointments. They're
Okay.
all medical appointments only.
Okay.
We're not taking people to, the grocery store and all that.
Right.
It's just for medical appointments.
Sure.
It's wheelchair and ambulatory. So
Okay.
seniors that are wheelchair bound or have their rollators.
Okay.
So you can call us,
Yeah.
and we can assist and help you with that.
Okay.
And then Patrick will take you on your appointments.
I love that.
We're
I love that.
excited about that program.
So we got all kinds of programs
Yep.
that can assist seniors in need here. So this nonprofit has been around so long, and
26 years.
26
this year.
years. We did have last year we turned 25 years
Yeah.
old. Guys, we had the funnest. See, that the funnest is not a word, guys.
Funnest. Well,
the
it
most
can be today.
fun gala party at Finley Farm. It was so much fun. It was wild. We had a live band. The food, it was just the best evening. People
we
still
had a
talk to
great
us about
time.
that.
Yep.
We are going to do that again. That is going to be another event we're going to do, not this year, but hopefully next year, to get everybody in the same room again. It's just an evening of so much fun.
And to celebrate.
And to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So let's dig back into our questions a little bit. How would you describe the organization's purpose to someone like they just heard about it for the first time? If they just, you meet someone at Publix, for example, and in one or two sentences you were like, this is what we're really passionate about. Like, what would you say to them?
I think the biggest thing is we care about our seniors in our community.
Yeah.
We care about our low income seniors. That's who we serve.
Yes.
And just that we're trying to keep our low income seniors safe, secure. I always feel like there's a group of people that are left.
Sure.
People tend to forget about.
Right.
That's the other thing too, I think, with seniors is a lot of times people think, you get to a certain age, you've got life figured out, everything's, you should have it figured out, it's all perfect. No, it's not.
It's not.
Life sends you hiccups.
Yeah, for sure.
Life sends you curveballs.
Yeah.
And when you get those, it can be traumatic.
Yeah. Especially at an older age. People start, there's so many dementia and all time. Like the memory thing is a tough one with seniors, and, physical immobility, not being able to do things. And, that's a lot of times why people's homes get in the situation they get in, or their eyesight, for example. That's another good one with people that start to get older. They can't see very well, and the ability to drive to doctor's appointments and just do all of this.
There's the loss of their spouse.
Yeah. Or exactly.
I mean, I had a lady come into our office. She's been couch surfing. She's 70. Her husband passed away a year ago. She's like, I'm homeless. I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes that loss of spouse and that income, can make a big difference. Because sometimes you've got a senior who was a stay-at-home mom all her life.
Right.
Her income, and yes, can she get maybe husband's Social Security? Yes. Does that mean that's going to be a lot? Not necessarily.
Not in today's economy.
We also got to remember our seniors and the generation that they came up in, what their hourly wage even was back then.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean their Social Security is going to be something super, great.
Sure.
It's funny, me being in this and doing this for 10 years. I keep thinking about, I don't know, am I ever going to retire?
Right.
Because
it's so expensive.
It's almost like
Yeah, life is just, it's beyond expensive.
And then you get the fear of, if something happened to my husband, are we prepared?
Right.
Yeah. So also educating,
you know,
that's a big part of what we do too.
For sure.
We're starting to get into that and educating our community
Yes.
on what's needed,
Yeah.
because it's amazing that a lot of people think, and you get busy with life.
Right.
And so you just keep going and going. And then all of a sudden, boom, something happens to mom or
Yeah.
something happens to dad.
Yeah.
And you don't have a clue.
Right.
And then you're calling here, there, and everywhere trying to figure out who does this, who does that.
Right.
So, one of the new things we're trying to do is get into educating.
Yeah.
And having some education summits and telling people what's out there.
Yeah.
Get prepared so that when that day comes, you're not kind of blindsided.
Right.
And you'll be like, oh, I remember when I went to the education summit for stand-up for seniors, they talked about this, they talked about that. And so I've got this information to lean on.
Right. And you guys, we have so many resources in our back pocket. We know so many people that work in this particular genre and industry of when your parents do get older or your grandparents get older, those types of things. And so many people are blindsided by, days turn into months, months turn into years, and then you wake up and it's like, oh my goodness, I am dealing with things that I did not think I would be dealing with so quickly.
Absolutely.
And you never know you're in the blink of an eye, something can happen or change so quickly. Both of my parents, I've experienced all of this personally in the last 3 or 4 years. My dad's parents both got really ill in the past, 4 or 5 years. And the lawyers, the this, the that, all the things, how expensive it is for them to be in assisted living and memory care facilities. The list
Let's talk about that
50
real quick.
miles long. So.
Because, I get a lot of people that I sit on different housing task teams and I can be in different legislative meetings. And, people just assume those assisted livings, senior centers that they see, they think, oh, we don't need housing. We don't need places for people. There's plenty of those all over. Unfortunately, if you have not gone in there and asked them yourself how much it cost
it's
to
wild.
live there,
it's astronomically wild.
I couldn't afford to live there.
No, it's insane.
I mean, we're talking baseline.
No offense to these businesses. We understand.
We love them, and we'll probably be talking to them on our podcast.
Because
there's a need.
Yes, we love.
And there's a reason for those.
But they're expensive, guys.
They're expensive, but that was for those seniors that did everything and prepared everything.
Yeah.
Okay. But again, for Stand Up for Seniors, our clientele is low income. They can't afford it.
Right.
Baseline could be $3,000 baseline.
Right.
My seniors are usually living on $3,000 or less a month. And primarily what I see is more like $2,000 or less.
Guys, that's for rent. That's for food. That's for utilities. That's for fuel to go anywhere in a car if they can do that.
If they have to pay for it.
Medical care. The list goes on. Everybody already knows how expensive all that stuff is. So if you do the math, the back of the envelope math on that, someone trying to live off of $2,000 or $3,000 a month is, especially elderly people who might not know how to budget money well. Just the list goes on, and so it's that's very, very tough, and it's crazy.
And we're living in an age and a time when your landlords, they want their market rate.
Of course.
So they're raising the rent.
Yep.
And again, these seniors are living on this fixed low income.
Right.
And they're finding they're being pushed out.
Right.
And then they're calling us looking for something more affordable.
Sure.
And unfortunately, they're waitlist.
Right.
Anything that's affordable right now for seniors in Cherokee County.
Yeah.
Well, pretty much nationwide.
Yeah, not just,
there's wait lists.
Of course.
And so, my big push and goal is to get more affordable housing.
Yeah.
They don't need the townhouses and cottages.
No.
People freak out thinking we've got plenty of houses and things and subdivisions and stuff going up and why do we need more of that?
Right.
For me, I'm like, these seniors don't need yards to take care of. No one has time for that maintenance, nor do they physically probably can take care of that. I would love to see more of the Colbert Square that sits in Woodstock.
Sure.
Apartment style.
Doesn't have to be overly fancy. None
Not
of
at
that.
all. One
Guys,
bedroom,
some of these people just need somewhere to lay down at night.
Yes.
it's
Somewhere to
crazy.
shower.
Take a bath. You know, somewhere to just sit down and be able to eat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So if I could have an apartment complex, you know, maybe wraparound services on the first level, why not?
Absolutely.
Go downstairs, have a dock in the box.
Yeah.
Have your pharmacy downstairs. Have your hairstylist downstairs.
Yes.
Have the cat's bus
Can
pull
you
up.
tell we dream big? And we're
Yeah.
we're not just going to dream, guys. We are going to make this happen. This is going to happen.
Yes.
We are part of my world for the past 20 years. I've dealt a lot with real estate and property development and all of those types of things. And this is a very big passion of mine for us to be very, very ambiguous about this over the next 2 to 3 years in this nonprofit is making this happen. These type of living quarters for our seniors, which on my list here, next question, what are the biggest challenges seniors currently face in our community? I think we've touched a lot about it, and what we're talking about at this very moment is probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
You know, it's where are they going to stay? They're living in cars. You know, there are couch surfing.
They're living in the motels.
Living in motels.
You know,
Guys,
that's a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
I always joke and say, I should have a costume that's a Band-Aid.
Right, yeah.
And then wear it out, and people say, wow, what's up
right.
with that?
Yeah.
And why are you dressed as a Band-Aid? Because that's what you start to feel like.
Yeah.
Because you can't find a place for them.
Right.
You know, yes, we still work on the seniors that live in their homes and need repairs or need some assistance. You know, it might be that utility bill. Listen, folks, we're getting our seniors that are starting to take care of grandchildren.
Right.
My most shocking story, I guess I would say, was when I had the school counselor call me, you know, and I was like, why would Cherokee County School Counseling need to call me, right?
Right.
And, well, because Grandma and Grandpa are now taking care of the grandchildren.
Sure.
And they're living in a motel. And so they're reaching out to me to see if I had the resources of a place that maybe Grandma and Grandpa could live.
Yeah.
I wish I had a, magic wand and could be able to, go over here. But I don't.
Yeah.
You know,
I wish you could. You could write a book, and that's just in the 10 years that you've been doing this and dealing with this. It's, guys, if we will, as other businesses, because we are going to have other businesses that, like I said, deal with this particular industry and this topic in this community, because it is passionate. It's one of our big passions.
Yeah.
And we are going to have all kinds of businesses on here because that's the fun of this, and we want you guys to know and learn about them and learn about their pros, their cons, their struggles, their accomplishments, all those types of things. But we are going to have a lot of focus on businesses that pertain to what we're passionate about.
Absolutely.
And it is seniors in this community, and it's, how they can be effective and how you guys can play an effective role and really help us in those different things. And so we've already talked about the services and programs you guys offered. That was kind of the next question on my list.
Yeah.
And you literally were just talking about a story. I think real life stories, guys, is how you're going to also connect with us, especially with this nonprofit and other businesses that come in here. Like, I want to hear real life stories. Like, we are talking about stand up, what they do, all of those types of things. But can you share a story about someone's life who changed through stand up for seniors? I know there's 50 million stories. I get that, but
I mean, you get some that you just feel like, yes, we finally have the bigger solution answered, which is housing.
Yeah.
When we would always get the repeat seniors, again, their income can only last so long at a motel before they almost need that extra help for a month.
Right.
Then the money they get in, they can save.
Right.
So that lasts a few more months for them. And then they need almost like the help again.
Right.
And so we had a veteran, which
that was a story I was going to ask you to tell.
First of all, that shocks me. In this world today, it just shocks me that any veteran
on this topic. Yeah.
is homeless and trying to find housing. So anyway, he was very intelligent.
Yeah.
But his income was just that
Yeah,
low.
very.
he was bilingual. He could speak Japanese. And so,
didn't know that.
yeah. And so when we finally got him on the Colbert Square wait list, you know, and it's one of those things you always check in,
Right.
where you at on the wait list? Because,
Yeah.
you know, obviously your wait list doesn't change until people either die or move out for some reason or other.
Right.
They could always move away with family or something.
Sure.
And so when he finally got the call, you know, we were like, what? You know,
Yeah.
we like ran to his storage unit. Because that's the other thing, too, when they're homeless. A lot of times, and I hate that they have to have that extra expense
Right.
of their stuff sitting in storage. And storage units aren't cheap.
No.
Sometimes you have those hard conversations where you're trying to tell the senior, you may have to let go of your stuff,
Right.
just to have that extra income
Sure.
in your pocket.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got him into Colbert Square. Super excited. There was an Asian lady that spoke Japanese there,
wow.
so it
That's
was so
cool.
cool to know that, you know, them two could kind of communicate.
Yeah.
He was a big reader.
Yeah.
And then we had one other one that we got into Colbert Square. He was living in an extended stay. And so when
wow.
he got called up, we were super excited.
Yeah.
He had no furniture. He had nothing. And so with the help of a donor, we were able to go to Woodstock Furniture Outlet,
Oh, nice.
which is always fun.
Yeah.
And do a
Furniture
little
shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they delivered it, and we were there to help set it up for him. And he was just so excited.
Yeah.
And
The
so,
smiles and the joy is
just knowing that someone can rest
right.
and feel like, okay, I finally can have a place I could call home,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
versus a motel
A motel. Yeah.
or their car.
Yeah. So we want to talk about, you know, we don't want these podcasts to be 45 minutes to an hour long, guys. We want to keep, you know, around the 25, 30-minute mark so we don't lose your attention. And we want to, you know, really engage here in the last few minutes on how people in our community, you know, can be involved. And people come to us all the time because most nonprofits, this is how a lot of nonprofits work, guys. People are constantly like, how can I volunteer? How can I do this? How can I do that? And, you know, that's, people come to us constantly and ask those types of things, which we'll be bluntly honest with you. Our particular nonprofit, it's like, we're not out doing food drives, for example, or, you know, those types of things where we need 50 volunteers on Friday morning to do this or that. And I know you can declare this and talk about this the best, Dee, as to really how North Georgia and this community can really step up and support Stand Up for Seniors. And it's only one word, and I'll tell you what it is, guys. It's money. I know everybody's always, you know, everyone's having this and this and this and this, and everyone's constantly asking for money for stuff, which I get it. And so, but really tell us how people can step up and support Stand Up for Seniors and what that looks like. And we do a bunch of different fundraisers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. And then how people can really step in and be a part and play a role in Stand Up for Seniors.
Funding is one of the bigger ones.
Money, told you.
However, one of the things I'm realizing is since a lot of people don't know about us, is we're kind of wanting to put together an outreach committee.
Okay.
And so if we can get a group of volunteers, possibly, because when people say, what can we do?
Sure.
And I've thought long and hard about that.
Right.
You know, because
people come to us all the time and ask
you know,
them.
we use contractors to do our home repairs,
Sure.
you know, licensed, bonded,
Sure.
all that stuff. So an outreach committee, someone that can go out, you know, educate people,
Right.
knock on doors.
Right.
When we have our annual golf tournament, which is October 20th.
At Bridgemill. It's so fun.
At Bridgemill,
So fun.
You know, we're going to need raffle prizes, the sponsors.
Okay.
You know, getting out there with that. Our education summit is July 25th at the Pardue Center.
Okay.
Listen, guys, it's 8:30 to 4:30 or
Right.
something like that. I could be off by 30 minutes,
Sure.
but you don't have to be all there all
Right.
day. We'd love for you to stay all day to get all the education that's going to be
Sure.
supplied. But, you know, come out and register.
Sure.
Because we do have food and lunch, so we do want to make sure we
Right,
have
snacks.
enough, for you.
Sure.
However, we want you to come out, get the information.
Right.
If you can only stay a couple hours, that's
Right.
fine.
There's different sessions, guys.
Yes.
Different sessions.
Yeah. So, the biggest thing is just supporting your local seniors, getting out there and helping a neighbor.
Sure.
If you got a neighbor that's a senior, check on them.
Right.
Do they need anything? Are they someone that might need our services?
Right.
If you know about us,
Yeah.
then maybe you can share that information.
Right.
But yeah, obviously the biggest thing is funding for us,
Yeah.
so that we can continue our programs.
Right.
Because again, it takes money to help with the
Of
motels
course.
and the rent and the utilities.
Sure.
And because it's sad when you get someone who's reached out to us. I just did an application today. And grandma's taken in her twin grandchildren
Right.
because mom's going to jail.
Gotcha.
It's just the story.
Sure.
It is what it is.
Of course.
But she's already in the negative in her power bill. And so I just think, oh my gosh, we're going to have children with grandma and who wants to be sweating
Right.
with no power
Sure.
right now and worried about that.
Right.
So for me, funding, if you want to volunteer and help just kind of educate our community, and just letting people know what we do,
Right.
share who we are.
Right. So we are going to be building this outreach committee over the next, month or two. If you are interested in that, we'd love to hear. You can reach out through us. We have
Go to our website.
Go to our website. On our website, guys, and you can donate on our website. You'll see when our different events are. All of those types of things. We make it as easy as possible for you to be able to communicate with us, for you to be able to donate.
Follow us on social media.
We've got, Instagram, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. And
Between Madison and Latif, there's something happening on
all
social media.
All the time. We're always doing something. Yep. We have monthly luncheons. I'll mention that really fast. All these amazing assisted living and memory care facilities all over North Georgia here support us. They have a monthly luncheon. We just kind of expanded over into Cobb County. We've had a few of those now. We also do lunch and learns, meaning we'll have different vendors and businesses at these luncheons so that there's a particular topic they're covering, so that you can come and learn about those. But those luncheons are a perfect opportunity for you to support us. Even if you have a business here in the community, you can't come to that particular luncheon. Maybe you can call, text us, send us an email. Hey, we want to pick up 20 lunches from you guys on Friday. Well, that particular assisted living place will have those ready to go. You can pick them up. All we ask is for a $10 donation. Obviously, you guys can donate more, and a lot of people do. That really does help, raise funds for us. And so our fundraisers are big. We do a pickleball tournament every spring. We're having our big golf tournament at Bridge Mill in October. And we are going to be throwing a few other things in there next year as well into the mix. And so today has been so much fun.
Let me touch on something real quick,
Okay,
Matt.
go for it.
So our territories, if someone's listening to our podcast and who knows where,
right?
We do cover Cherokee County.
Okay.
We've been doing that for 25 years.
Okay.
We're now in year 26.
Okay.
And we've expanded into Kennesaw, Ackworth, North Fulton, which is the Roswell, Alpharetta area.
Okay.
And then Pickens County.
Yes. So we're
expanding.
Excited. Yeah. That's one of the things that people always ask us when they come in contact with us. Do you do this? Are you in this county? And so we've decided in the last 6 months that we've expanded past Cherokee County, and we want to grow our outreach.
Right.
Not just sit in Cherokee County. We love Cherokee County. Obviously, that's home to a lot of us. But, my favorite new term is North Georgia, and we are expanding into some different areas in North Georgia, and we really want to, reach out into those communities, not only to help the seniors, guys, but we need help with people expanding and I call it brand awareness. Really telling people about who we are, what we are.
Absolutely.
And also, point blank, to help us raise money in those areas. We need people to step up and really assist us with the funding and those types of things. And so we're excited about expanding into those new territories, excited about our new transportation program. We'll get that off the ground, and we're getting that off the ground.
I think we're going to have episode 2 on this. We could talk all day.
Oh, I know. I've got to stop talking. There's so many
things that I keep thinking
I'm looking at my
about.
watch, and I'm like, how long have we been talking? So hopefully we're not, I don't know, we might be at the 40-minute mark at this point. Maybe 45 minutes, I'm not sure. But I think we've covered a lot today as to what Stand Up for Seniors is, what you guys do. We've learned.
And just reach out.
Yeah.
Reach out if there's something that we didn't get on and
obviously,
you've got to ask.
Happy
To share.
You can DM us on Instagram. We are starting, obviously these episodes are going to go onto YouTube. We are starting our YouTube channel where we throw these podcasts on there. We'll put little snippets on TikTok and both Instagram and Facebook. That way you can, get little bits and pieces of what we're talking about.
Our social media is Stand Up for Seniors.
Yeah, Stand Up for Seniors.
And then our website is standupforseniors.org.
Yes. And then also go follow our podcast. There are new Instagram and all those social medias and website. And we don't have a website yet. We'll get there eventually with the podcast. But right now we've got all the social media outlets, TikTok, all of those types of things. And so,
excited.
We will put this episode out very, very soon. And then we're going to be recording the next one and just next week. And, we'll have the next business, and we'll announce the next business that's going to be on here so you guys will know about them. And it was nice talking to you guys.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. I know this might be a little bit lengthy, but there are important things that we want you guys to hear. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. See you. Thank you for listening to the Biz Files podcast. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. Go subscribe today.